Now, a social experiment enterprise.
Hi, and welcome to Stop Now. I am Nate.
Hello there. I'm Melissa, and we're back this week.
Yes, we are back. We hope everyone had a very safe holiday weekend last week. And we are back, though, Melissa, because, just because it's the holiday season, the mission doesn't stop. And so we are back with another episode this week. And we want to let everyone know out there, we are so thankful that you guys and girls out there are watching and helping us. And we need your help and we need your support to help us in this mission.
Definitely. Exactly. Let us touch base on some information and details JK mentioned in last week before we continue with our talk show today.
Yes, Melissa, it is so important, to recognize those who have helped us with our mission and the donors who provided a great deal of support for this social experiment that we're conducting. Uh, I want to thank our anonymous sponsor, Melissa. This blew me away. Our anonymous sponsor who donated a Tesla. A Tesla donated a Tesla to help us with this project. We thank you so much for that.
Wow. Okay. That is amazing. I'm really shocked and I'm not able to believe this. You serious, Nate? Can we share the details?
I mean, all right. You want to play a game? We can play truth or dare.
Let's ask JK. JK?
Hi, Melissa, I'm here. So this was the information that was shared. I'm trying to pull in the picture that was shared to me. And I have not got more information. Hopefully, when I get more information, I'll be able to share that because this is a huge one. As Nate mentioned, we all are so surprised. And is there any terms and conditions? And why do they want to donate? And this looks something, I don't know, to estimate like $100,000 or something. We are set for the next 2 years.
Oh, that's so nice.
That is very extremely generous and
Absolutely.
again, we want to thank everybody out there who has helped support this project, help support our mission, especially right now, Melissa and JK. This is the season that I think a lot of people need that kind of support, need that kind of giving. And so it's great. Whoever you are, anonymous donor, we thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And that is a nice car. So congratulations.
I was gonna say, does that
them.
mean, Melissa, does that mean I know it's a donation, but I mean we can maybe take it out for a spin on the weekends, possibly.
Right. We gotta test it out for people, see how it's going. And then we can give our review on the show.
Exactly.
I'm with that, Nate. Can we do that? Can we do that?
We'll probably have to run it past JK, but I'm just putting it out there.
Can we do it, JK, please?
Absolutely, Melissa. I think hopefully once we get it, we all will have a ride on it. And I don't know, that might be, we need to figure out what we are going to do with that. And that is something I really don't know. So maybe we can jump on and request the person to join our call and explain that what made him to do that.
Yeah.
And this is something what I was told from the previous episodes, that it is getting more traffic. I mean, more people are interested to share their stories. And even what I was told was to conduct some kind of a social experiment with all the visa holders. When we played those story and the audio clips, they wanted to hear more in detail about those things. And we are trying to bring in more guests and volunteers. And that is one of the top priority. We are trying to make this a social cause that will benefit everyone.
Absolutely. And yeah, like JK said right there, Melissa, we have a lot of fun on this show sometimes, but at the end of the day, it is about helping people and letting people be able to tell their stories. So if you're out there and you have a story that you want to share with us, the phone number's there, the email's there. You can see it on your screen. We want to hear from you, because at the end of the day, Melissa, it is all about helping people and letting people speak their experiences on the show.
Definitely. Like you said, Nate, we would love to hear from you. So even if you don't want to tell us your name, you want to be anonymous, that's fine too. Don't feel like you can't share your information, your stories with us. You don't want to put it all out there. But if you do want to give us your name, that's fine too. Oh gosh. So Nate, it's almost Christmas. Like you said, you brought it up. The countdown is on. I'm not ready. How about you?
Here's the thing, Melissa. Like, I'm not ready, but I'm so ready, because the closer we get to Christmas means the closer we get to the end of this year.
That is true. I am so ready for this year to be over. Like, this just feels like a bad dream, and I'm just like trying to wake up. That every time I think I woke up, I'm still in the dream. Like, it just doesn't end. It seems like
it doesn't. But I think. Like I don't know, Melissa, maybe it's just the holiday season, but I think I'm starting to feel more hopeful than maybe I did back in the spring and the summer, when we're dealing with the pandemic. We're still dealing with the pandemic, but I feel like with the news about, the vaccine tests and the leadership change that is coming in America, like, I feel like we're not out of this by a long shot, but I do feel like we're on the road to getting better.
Definitely on the road to recovery, Nate. You are absolutely correct. Like, I do feel the hopefulness that you were talking about. Like, I am feeling a little bit better. Like, in March, we were going into this. It was completely new. Nobody knew what to expect. There was changes every week. It was like, you finally get used to one rule, then something else is, so things are kind of like, not really up and down like that. We kind of know where we're at. We're just waiting for that vaccine, waiting for leadership to finally, go ahead and take place. I am excited, but my 7-year-old, he just went back to school. They have this virtual hybrid learning. He went back for the first time in over a month this week. By the end of the week, they said, we're going to shut it down. I said, you've got to be kidding me. If you wanted to leave it closed, leave it closed. Don't play with my emotions.
Well, I think, Melissa, like, that's like, your story is a story that I think a lot of people, a lot of parents around the country can relate to, because we've just seen, like, not only do we not have a unified kind of national policy on this stuff, but like, even in states, like, from one city to the next, it might be different.
It's so different.
The gyms might be open, the bars might be open, the kids might be back in school. Some kids might be taking classes from home. And so I think we've got to figure out, when I say we, I mean like America, we have to figure out a policy. We have to figure out a plan. And again, that's why I'm kind of hopeful for January, because I don't know what's going to happen, Melissa, but at least I know the people in charge will have a plan. And that's better than what we've been going through the last 9 months, where we've had a president who's just been freestyling out here. And it's a very bad freestyle.
Right. I freestyle a lot in life, but that is just out of control. So, I like that, there will be a plan together. Oh, gosh. So this show, we're going to continue. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Nate.
I was just going to say one last thing on that. Like, I do feel like, again, I know our listeners and our viewers might think we're a broken record, Melissa, but the same stuff we were talking about in the summer is the same stuff we need to do right now. Wear a mask, social distancing, wash your hands, don't travel outside the house unless you need to for work or for groceries and stuff like that. So, just be safe and keep the people around you safe.
That is so true. And with the holidays, I know that people want to keep it how it used to be, and like, oh, I want to go travel. I mean, you just got to be careful, guys. You really have to be careful. I know it's getting closer, it is definitely spreading. And I didn't have a lot of family members that I knew that were close that had COVID. And now that we're in the second wave, it is really hitting close to home here. So we all definitely have to do our part. I can't stress that enough. We really do. This is not going to get any
We
better.
still really haven't even seen like the fallout from a lot of people are traveling for Thanksgiving. Like we still don't know what that's going to mean. So yeah, just be safe out there, everybody.
Definitely. So we're going to keep the theme going from last week with the thankfulness and all the holidays and fun times here. I see we have a guest that's joined us today.
Yes, Melissa, we have two guests joined in.
Two guests joining us.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
I like this. This is like another family gathering here. So guests, can you introduce yourself and then let the folks out there know who you are?
If not, we'll just keep it going.
Yes, so, I think their audio is not getting connected, it seems. So meanwhile, we can pick it up from what we were discussing on the last episode on the topic that we were told that like to do some social experiment on how this visa program is being exploited. And I would try to replay that audio and maybe we can take some questions or we can discuss about that, like because we have been joined by one other journalist from the last week. He said he will help us out like in doing further investigation into it and kind of conduct a social experiment in the forthcoming weeks.
Even though everybody's on, like, we're really all in this together. I was watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and it was like, they also had some kind of a technical issue. Like, nobody is going to have a perfect run for anything.
Everybody's learning about this.
We're all learning
as we
it's
go.
Just so new, right? I love how creative everybody has got. And, you really show that you know how to do some stuff and put them together. Perseverance really comes out in people, like the best of us right now. I just really love this.
The old cliche, necessity is the mother of invention. And, we can't be in the same studio or in the same room. And so, yeah, like I think that maybe that's one of the few good things to come out of this year, Melissa, is that folks have had to be creative and had to figure out different ways to still work together.
You are so right. Even with like my grandmother, she lives in a really big building, apartment building with, what is it, about 9 floors. So I'm not always going to go in there. She'll be like, Joan on the 3rd floor has got the Rona. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I can't come see you right now. And stay right where you are, get your groceries delivered. But she wants to see us still. So for Christmas, she doesn't know it, but she's going to get the Echo show. And I love the commercials because they really incorporate, what we're going through right now. And the grandparents, they're not really good with technology. So I think that's the perfect thing for her to be able to stay in touch with us and, communicate the way that I think she's going to love it. I'm really excited for that part. That's the only gift I bought so far, and I'm excited.
I mean, anytime the grandparents can get to see the grandbabies, like that's number one on their list.
Right? It's so cute. And to be able to see her, we send her videos all the time, but she doesn't feel like she can interact the way she would like to. And she's right. So this is going to be, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
So many of our older family members this year have learned about Skype and Zoom and FaceTime.
It's so cute. Some things they thought that they would never do, and then they're just over here with us, and to watch them do it and do it well. Like, oh, look at you over there. I see you.
Again, like I think like you're saying, Melissa, just the fact that people have had to be creative. Like we're seeing like church services being held over Zoom. We're seeing city council meetings being held over Zoom. And so like I do feel like as bad as this year has been, like that's one good thing that's come out of it is that, folks are having to get creative and think of different solutions. And so, we're doing the same thing here with Stop Now.
Absolutely.
Like last week was a perfect example. We had, 10 people, 11 people from all over the world on one
Yeah.
call. And that's something that, maybe folks wouldn't have thought of, 2 or 3 years ago.
Absolutely. It's just so wonderful. My sister is a car salesman. So to see her, go through the shutdowns and everything, she's freaking out. I can't make any money. Then her boss calls her one day, the owner, and he says, we're going to start selling cars from home. She
Huh.
came with us in the beginning of the pandemic. So we quarantined together. So to watch the process of them sell these cars from home, I said, "Wow, you can sell a car from home?" Technology, man, I tell you.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
I can haggle the price from my couch and
Oh my goodness, right? And she did. Oh gosh. And it was like, you get to test drive the car, you get 24 hours. If you don't like it, you bring it back. But
mm,
like Carvana, they've been doing that.
yeah,
So they just incorporated what they did and they said we're gonna make it work for us. And in the event that we do end up shutting down again and we're on another nationwide lockdown, they already
yeah.
know what they're going to do, the plan. So it's it's cool that we've already, been here a little bit. So we get to revise it, but it's not like how it was before in March when everybody's just like, oh my gosh, what do we do?
Mm, yep.
Oh my goodness.
It's interesting because I do feel like we're at a point in the pandemic where you've got pandemic fatigue. And
Mm,
unfortunately, when people get tired of things, particularly Americans, because we're stubborn.
so stubborn.
when
And we
when
get
Amer-
tired quick.
yes, when Americans get tired of something, they stop listening. And so
Hmm.
you've got people crowded in bars. You've got
Hmm.
people going to these concerts and motorcycle rallies and things like that. And so I think we've got to get back to the point where we were, in March even,
Hmm.
where I feel like for that first 30 days, everybody was on board with
Oh,
staying
absolutely.
inside, but then 6 months later, you got a group of people that are like, we don't care. We're gonna go outside. This, we're not gonna catch it. So I hope that we can all work together. And it might not happen until January, but we can like just stay inside for 60 days, 90 days, however long it takes, and let this vaccine come out. And then we can get back to some bit of normal, Melissa.
Definitely. And with leadership changing, hopefully that will definitely help because, you watch him not wear a mask. You watch the current president say, oh, this isn't that bad. I had it.
I
I beat
had it.
it. I'm good. This isn't that bad. So, he's got a big following that what do I have to wear a mask for? He was
Mm,
fine. He doesn't wear a mask. And then, like you said, Americans, we get stubborn and bored,
mm,
and there's just I know like I have a very close friend. She just got bored. She said, I'm in the house all day. I was quarantined with 5 people. She's like, I'm quarantined with no one. I'm going out. I'm going to go live my life. This isn't going to stop me. I'm like,
mm.
okay, well, when you're in the hospital, that's going to stop you. But okay.
Yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
I get like people are social creatures, and
Hmm.
that's part of the DNA of just being humans. But
Right.
at the same time, like we gotta do the right thing here. And that's yeah, if you are lonely and if you are missing human companionship, like there are ways
There are
around it
ways.
where it's not gonna be exactly the same because it can't be.
Right.
But get on the phone with your friends, get on a Zoom, get on a Skype, because I do feel like, Melissa, like there is a depression. There is kind of that
Yes.
like loneliness aspect to it, but we got to work around it because,
Absolutely.
better to be lonely than to be sick at this point.
Absolutely. And then it's, you can't just think about yourself. There's people who are carrying the virus and they have no symptoms. So, you say, oh, I'm fine. I'll walk around and do what I want. You go to this party with 15, 20 people, you just spread it. You didn't know, but you
Yeah.
did. So it's just, you just got to be really careful out here. I hope that Christmas coming and all the
Mm,
holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, the New Year, I I'm a little worried. Not even gonna lie, but
yeah.
the vaccine is coming.
Well, and that's another thing, Melissa. Like I don't know if I don't know if JK thought we were gonna go here this week, but I feel like I need to say this to some of the viewers out there. Again, you can if you want to share your stories, if you got some comments on this topic, or you want to talk about the visa situation, you can email us, you can call us and get in on the conversation. But Melissa, I feel like particularly when you talk about communities of color, we whether you're talking about black folks in America, brown folks in America, we tend to be skeptical about
Mhm.
things, and we have reason to be skeptical when you look at the history of what's going on in this country. But I feel like right now I'm hearing a lot of black people in particular that are skeptical and don't want to take the vaccine.
I've heard that a lot myself, Nate. I'm not gonna lie.
And I get it because we know about like the Tuskegee experiments and some of
Mhm.
the other terrible things that the American government has done to black people in the name of science, quote unquote. But I feel like this is a different situation here with this vaccine. Like once it's tested, once it's shown to be safe, like I feel like yeah, you got to take it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'll be the first one in line,
I
Melissa,
won't be.
but like I'm not gonna be first, but I'm not gonna be last either. Like I feel like
Exactly.
this is something, particularly if you deal with a lot of older people in your
Yeah,
family, like they are the ones that are the most at risk.
definitely. You're so right. I won't be the first, the 10th, or the 20th in line. But I'm gonna see what happens. And
Yeah, I like give it a month and see what happens.
absolutely. So I'm hoping for good things with this. I really am. I hope that it does what it's supposed to do and it
Yes.
doesn't bring us backwards. Like, I just feel for people who are in situations when they have to go, to work outside of the house. They don't have another choice. They
Hmm.
are in situations where their employer says you leave and you're fired. It's just a situation. You want to slow the spread, but I had so many people of so many different nationalities on my social media, especially in the beginning of all this, when they're like, if you feel scared, you can stay home. And that's what a statement was from like the president of the company. But by the time they get to the manager, they're like, now you can stay home if you want to, but you can't come back. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what, why? Or, you'll have another job. They say the complete opposite. I wish that it was all on the same level here. Everybody has the same rules to follow because, in these crowded like Amazons or Walmart
Hmm.
distribution centers or, post office, I mean, they have to run. Yeah, but I just hope that this vaccine really does help because there's still big, big places that people gather consistently. They're going to go get these vaccines, and I just really wish for the best.
Well, then that's where a functioning government would come in play, Melissa, because if there were safety nets, like if the government was there for the good of the people,
Absolutely.
and we didn't have to force people to go back to work. We didn't have to force, parents to have to, put their kids in childcare. If there were, and when it talks about the vaccine, like I know there's some people who won't be able to get the vaccine depending on the cost if it's not
Yeah,
made freely available. And so,
that's
like, I
another
think
one.
there's a lot of things that the government could have done, and hopefully they will do in January that
Hmm.
could help people because people have to work. Like one of the things we talk about on this show all the time is, when you look at folks, with these visas, they're at the mercy of the employer a lot of times because they don't have another option. They're trying to make money. They're trying to provide for their families. And it's the same thing in the pandemic. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, like there's a lot of people that don't want to go to work. They would rather stay home and be with their families and be safe, but they have to because if not, they're not going to get a check. And so like that's where the government should help, but we'll see in January, Melissa.
Yes, we will see. I'm crossing my fingers, Nate. Crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
So,
So again, like if anybody wants to share stories, you know the number, you know the email. Like I think this is going to be a very interesting month, Melissa, because this is usually one
mhm,
of the happy months
it is.
of
It
the
really
year.
is.
But I feel like there's a lot of tension right now, a lot of anxiety just because of everything that's going on this whole year.
It is. I'm very, very anxious from time to time. I'll have a moment where I'm good and I try to stay off the news from time to time, but then you have, social media. I rely more on social media now because I'm not out and about with, friends or people
Mhm.
from my old jobs or something like that. So I get on there and, you can't, sometimes you got to decipher, is this real news, fake news? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'm freaking out. I got to get off my phone.
That's the other thing. Like technology is so great, Melissa. Like again, like it allows us to connect. Like we're in different
Yeah,
states. We last week we talked to our friends here in the organization that are all around the world.
all around.
But like as great as technology is and as good as it is for finding information and getting educated on a subject, there's a lot of misinformation out there, Melissa. And I'm not even gonna be cute with it. Like there's a lot of just straight up lies that people are
Yes.
putting on the internet to fool people and to mislead people. And so like it's you got to be careful with all of this
Mhm.
stuff. Like I can't tell you how many friends I have, Melissa, that I had to like fact check during the
Mhm.
election because they're just getting their information from sources that aren't reliable.
Yes. And then the what kills me is they just spread it. They don't fact check like fact check. Why are you just, oh my gosh, this is true because it's on Instagram or this is on Facebook and I know this person. I'm gonna share it.
Yes.
Why? Make sure that it's accurate first. You are freaking people out.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. So it is definitely something with technology. You take the good and the bad. I'm like, I'm gonna live in a box, okay, with nothing. See how that goes. No.
Oh. So I guess one of the other things I want to talk about, Melissa, this week before we ran out of time, because I know you're keeping the time for us.
Always.
Uh, but I wanted to get your thought, Melissa, on the idea of giving, because like we talked about at the top of the show, like we're so thankful to the folks out there who have supported our mission here at Stop Now.
Definitely.
And our anonymous donor, our anonymous supporter out there with the Tesla, we appreciate it. But I think like giving is something that we always talk about, Melissa.
Mhm.
But how do you find the the capacity to give in a time like this? Is I guess a question that maybe a lot of people out there are dealing with right now.
Definitely. It's a rough one. I know that you want to make sure that you and yours are safe and they're good first. And then it does, I know I used to give a lot.
Mhm.
I'm part of a church and I give tithes every week. And, since things have been a little bit different, I'm like, oh gosh, do I do this?
Mm.
Or coat drives. We have this coat drive at my sister's school. They were actually going to do the coat drive this coming week.
Mm.
School shut down. I don't know what that means for the coat drive. I actually believe it's canceled. So
Yeah.
it's just it really is unfortunate. And at the same time, randomly, I just when I know that I'm really good financially, I just try to send what I can or help out where I can because it's just I feel so thankful and grateful that I'm in the situation that I am because
Mm.
I know there's so many people that aren't where I am or they're it's just you we really do need to try to give and help out a little bit more. I know that there's been times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I know, but I have to really sit there and put myself in somebody else's shoes. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, Melissa. Like, yeah, obviously, you have to take care of your family first. Like, family always comes first, but then after that, like, if you can, and I think that's the key phrase. Like, if you can,
If you can.
like, there's a lot of people that need help. Like, I know, like right now, Melissa, like, I've had to tighten my belt a bit just because the jobs haven't come as freely as they usually do.
I hear
Um,
you.
in the middle of this pandemic. But like when I can, like if I got, 5, 10, 15 bucks, I like Feeding America is somebody who like I always kind of want to donate to, because I think like your money goes really far with them.
Yeah.
Like $3 is like 30 meals. I don't know how they do the math, Melissa, but it feeds a lot of people. Like, and like people are hungry right now. People, you know, need shelter. Because I think one of the things
Yes.
that people forgot about during this pandemic is like we still have a homeless people problem.
Oh my gosh, you're so right, Nate. It's funny you say that. Directly across the street from me, there is a church, and especially in the wintertime, they take in a ton of homeless people. And
Mm,
all around we have these food drives and food banks and everything, and things have not been quite the same as they used to. So I do feel for so many people. I say, so where do they go now? What is it that they're going to be doing? Like, what is the backup plan? It's just
yeah.
we really have to get a handle on these things
Yeah.
sooner than later.
And so like I think Melissa, like there is an opportunity right now to give if you can. But there's another thing, right? If you cannot donate money, if you cannot donate food, like one thing that you can donate is time.
Absolutely.
I feel like, if by promoting organizations that do good work out there, by promoting your local food bank, by promoting your local, homeless shelter, by promoting, an organization like Stop Now. Like I feel like there are things that we can do even if we can't, like even if you're reaching in your pockets and it's like the old cartoon where you open your wallet and it's just like a little fly
Fly
just
goes out.
flies out because you don't have any money. Like there's still ways that we can help each other out in these tough times.
Definitely. There are so many different ways, and the way that the internet is and technology, it's really creating so many more ways. So you're so right, Nate. Absolutely. So we are getting closer to the end. What did you have any final thoughts for today?
I guess to the viewers out there and the listeners, like if you're checking this out after the fact, like we do this every week, and like I feel like there's so many people who want to be heard right now, Melissa. Now, and that's whether you're talking about, the folks with the H-1B visa stories that we've been talking to, or folks dealing with the pandemic right now. Folks that are just trying to do good in a world that feels sometimes like it's anything but good.
Yeah,
Like I think that there's a lot of things we can do. So I want to thank the people out there for watching and supporting our mission here at Stop Now, and also like figure out what you can do in your own neighborhood, because you can't. Here's the thing, Melissa, like I think a lot of times people, when they think about like charity and helping out, they think big, like how can I change the world.
yeah,
And it's like sometimes you can't change the world, Melissa. Most
yeah.
times you can't change the world just by yourself. But what you can do is change your block. You can change your community. You can help
Definitely.
change your neighborhood. You can maybe help change your city. And that eventually down the line might lead to changing the world. So find what you can do in your own town right now. Like I think again, this is a good time of year for that, Melissa.
Hmm.
Like there's people that need help. There's always people that need help, particularly in 2020. So that would be my thing for the week, Melissa. Like last year. So I'm already trying to get out of this year. Last
I
last
see you,
week,
Nate.
last week we talked about what we're thankful for,
Right.
and I think that this week what I want to leave the viewers with is like last week we were thankful. We should always be thankful, but this week, like, what are you gonna do to be active? Like, how are you gonna change that gratitude into work this week? So I'm gonna put the challenge out there to the viewer.
Ooh.
Like, find one thing. Like, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to pay hundreds of dollars if you can't pay hundreds of dollars, but find one thing in your community that you can help somebody out with this week, and do that.
That's a good
And
one,
then
Nate.
email us and call us next week and share your story.
Absolutely. Challenge accepted. I'm for that one. I'm in. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for today. Once again, though, I'm going to leave with this. Y'all be careful, wear your mask, sanitize, wash your
Mm,
hands, please.
yes. Yes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive a special surprise gift from us. Again, send us an email, call us, share your stories with us. Our team will be in touch with you soon. So, Melissa, go ahead and do the honors and take us out of here.
Bye for now.
Stop Now, a social experiment enterprise. Stop, listen, share. Everyone can make a difference. We are on a mission. Everyone should do something greater in their lifetime. Change the future. Be a proud member. Join us to support, volunteer, and donate.